let's do a test run. I'm going downhill, so the truck's not going to be as loud. I'm hoping that you can't hear the road noise, because I spent 17 minutes on a video a minute ago that when I played back, road noise was way too loud, especially for my $250 set of noise canceling Bluetooth headphones. How the fuck is that working? I don't know how it's working now. I won't know until I play it back. Anyway, let's call this episode 6.2 of the countdown to a kidnapping. I still feel the impending date, even though it's probably not going to be on January 3rd. No reason to think it would be on January 3rd. But I still feel the impending doom. Because in a year from now, or 20 years from now, I want to look back on this situation and say that I am proud of how I behaved. And, yeah, that was a dog, so sorry. And I want to be able to say that I'm proud of how I behaved and not be kicking myself for how I behaved. And I'm thinking, like, at the end of that 6 month jail sentence, would I be saying, you stupid motherfucker, why didn't you just do what they said? Or will I be saying, yeah, you stupid motherfuckers, you have to let me go and I'm still not going to pay you. Come get me again. I don't give a fuck. The problem is, this system that is created where they give you permission to drive a commercial vehicle, and it would be pretty goddamn difficult to find somebody who's going to hire you to do a job, no matter how good you are at it, if you can't do it legally. And if you don't have a CDL, you can't do this legally. And what a wonderful world it would be when I can show up at a potential employer or keep my current employer, and they just say, oh yeah, don't wreck the truck, be safe out there, get the job done. But I don't have a special card. What the fuck you talking about, a special card? You can do the job, you got a history of having done the job successfully. Go out there and do the job, and we'll give you money. What a wonderful world it would be. There's nothing wrong with having qualifications, a way to verify someone's qualifications. That's a good thing. And laws are supposedly put into place to make sure these type of laws about, like, CDLs are put in place supposedly to make sure people are qualified to do the things that they're doing. But when you can cancel a man's ability to earn a living in the way that he specializes in, because he didn't pay you the money and you never bothered to explain to him why he owed you, that's the world we're actually living in. And why do we accept it? Because we were born in a cage. It's the way it's always been in your lifetime. I remember my grandfather telling me he got pulled over at 14 years old. Now, my grandfather was born in 1926, so this would have been 1940-ish. He got pulled over driving the car into town, which he had done many times before. One too many other cars on the road. And cop asked him for a driver's license, and he did not know what a driver's license was. He was confused. What do you mean a driver's license? You have to be licensed to operate a motor vehicle in town. And he said, why? You know, like, if it's my car or my dad's car, whatever, I got fucking permission to drive it, or whoever's car it was. He had permission to drive it. He didn't fucking steal it. That person trusted him with their vehicle. We used to be okay with taking risk. And we've gotten so safe that now people scream at other people for not wearing a mask, when if you laid out the mathematics of the level of risk that you're putting that person in, yeah, it probably doubled over the past year and a half because you're not wearing a mask. But it doubled from 0.001% to 0.002%. Fuck you. I could trip and stumble into you, and you could fall down and crack your fucking head open. So I shouldn't walk around. Like, let's take that logic to its furthest conclusion. Really. Life involves risk. And if you're not willing to accept that risk, there are people who absolutely feel no risk at all when they confront you physically to do you harm. Why? Because they have an army, because they're backed up by a state that most of you watching this probably believe has the right to exist. Where do we go from here? I don't know. Alright. Well, I had like a 17-minute ramble before, but I'm trying to keep shit off the cuff. I decided I just let my camera roll with my stupid fucking thoughts for almost 2.5 hours last night. And I realized, first off, I'm not that damn interesting. Unless I'm trying to be. It wasn't for this shit though. It was just for comedy, because I think a lot of the comedy that I come up with just comes off the top of my head and flows more freely when I'm speaking to another person, like in a real conversation. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I get that podcast going on. But I'm still practicing the monologue. Still belching. Damn, dude, stop it. That's rude. My first video started off with a golden sunset. It was beautiful. And I was talking, and it got darker and darker and darker. And then I was totally talking in the dark over like a span of 15 minutes. And it was pretty cool, because at the end of it, I popped on the light and I said, and remember, the light at the end of the tunnel may be you. Da-da-da-da, and that was my closer. So maybe I'll make that my closer tonight. Just remember, I'm not the only one with an impending date. It's black or white. You either have an impending date, whether or not you know when it is, or you're sacrificing your principles. I wish that wasn't the world that we live in, but it is. Alright. So, guess what? The light at the end of the tunnel may be you, motherfucker.